In the not so old days of the Pokemon TCG, we had a stadium called Path to the Peak. It was an incredibly disruptive stadium that shut off all abilities on Rulebox Pokemon, so stuff like Pokemon EX, Pokemon V, and Radiant Pokemon. And that stadium is gone, but that type of disruption remains thanks to the introduction of Iron Thorns in Pokemon TCG Twilight Masquerade. I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll take you over to Pokemon TCG Live in a sec. I just did want to flash my quad Iron Thorns because this is a deck that I do like a lot, and I'm in the process of building the paper version of it. But today, we're going to be looking at it in Pokemon TCG Live, and this is Ross Cawthorn's build from NAIC. It was the highest placing Iron Thorns deck, and I've been playing it for the last couple of days and having a ton of fun with it. Iron Thorns is a basic lightning Pokemon, 230 HP, and it has the ability Initialization, where as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, Pokemon with a rule box, both yours and your opponents, have no abilities except for future Pokemon. So if you're playing against a future box deck and there's not really that many running around anymore, then, or you're playing against another Iron Thorns, then the Iron Thorns is still going to have its ability, or future Pokemon are going to have their abilities, but you're shutting off every other rule box. So there are so many decks that are impacted by this. Miraidon, Charizard, Chien-Pao. Unfortunately, not so much Dragapult, which is kind of a problem. Goldengo sucks really bad against Iron Thorns EX. Gardevoir, which is probably the best deck in the game right now, does have some trouble with Iron Thorns as well. And having that ability in play is awesome. And I love the fact that in this quad deck where you're only running Iron Thorns, it pretty much guarantees that you're gonna have that disruption all the time. And then your attack for 1 lightning and 2 colorless energy, Volt Cyclone, does 140 damage, and you move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Now, it's not a lot of damage, and you do have to move energy from your active to the bench, so you're constantly having to reload energy or shuffle between your Iron Thorns and the active and the bench so that you can keep attacking, and you're not doing a lot of damage in the first place, so you're gonna have to draw out these games in order to steal wins here and there. But I think that Ross Cawthorn's build does a great job of keeping the momentum going. So of course the deck is it's 4 Iron Thorns EX, no need for other Pokemon. We have seen Iron Thorns teched into future box decks and Miraidon decks, but in this build it's just the Iron Thorns EX. We've got 3 copies of Judge, and we have lots of hand disruption in this deck. 3 copies of Iono. Judge is both players shuffle their hands into their deck and draw 4 cards, and then Iono is both players shuffle their hands, put it to the bottom of the deck, and draw equal to the number of prize cards remaining. And in both cases, you really just want to discombobulate your opponent, make sure that they're not able to build those combos, and give them a short hand to play with. 4 copies of Professor's Research. You discard your hand, draw 7 cards. It's a great way of refreshing your hand with some new cards. 1 copy of Canceling Cologne to nullify your opponent's active Pokemon's abilities. This is pretty much your Mimikyu killer. Like against Gardevoir in particular, they almost always have Mimikyu in the deck, and you don't really have a good answer for it other than the 1 Canceling Cologne. So if you are playing against a Gardevoir or something like Teal Mat or Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, you're kind of screwed because you can only hit it once, and then you're not going to be able to knock it out. So you're kind of boned in that regard. But against the Mimikyu, what you really want to do is save the Canceling Cologne for when you've got Lost City in play. And when Lost City's in play, whenever a Pokemon gets knocked out, they get sent to the Lost Zone instead of the discard pile. So the combination of Canceling Cologne and Lost City can get that Mimikyu out of the game forever, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Most decks only run 1 Mimikyu anyway, so you can just flush them into the Lost Zone and then never see them again. 1 copy of Earthen Vessel. You discard a card, grab 2 energy cards, or 2 basic energy from your deck. 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. Very annoying card, but a relevant one one in this deck because you are a heavy disruption deck. You flip a coin. If heads, you get to knock an energy off of your opponent's Pokemon and send it to the discard pile. 2 copies of Lost Vacuum. This lets you you choose one of your cards and you put one of your cards from your hand into the Lost Zone, and then put a stadium or a tool card in play into the Lost Zone. In particular, I like using this to get rid of HP modifiers like Bravery Charms and Ancient Booster Capsules to prevent your opponent from being able to tank your hits, especially since we're not doing that much damage to begin with. Although, to be fair, Future Booster Energy Capsule does help a little bit in that regard. You get to do 20 more damage, and also you get free retreat, and that makes it easy to pivot between the other Iron Thorns while also doing an extra 20 damage. Most of the time, you're going to have a lightning and a colorless on there though, so really you're just keep maintaining that base damage of 140. But if you've got 3 lightning energy and you swing with this, you're going to be doing 160, which is a much nicer number. 4 copies of Pokégear 3.0. You look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and any supporter cards you find in there, put those into your hand and shuffle your deck. This can be a great way of digging deeper because there's no draw engine in this deck. So really, Pokégear is your one way of finding supporter cards as needed. Turbo Energize is a really nice TM for this deck, where for 1 colorless energy, you can attach 2 basic energy cards from your deck to your bench Pokemon in any way you like, and then this TM falls off of your Pokemon. So turn 1 going second, this is the play that you want to make to put energy onto your Iron Thorns on the bench. And then we already talked about Iono. 2 copies of Energy Loto. You get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and reveal an energy card you find there and put it into your hand. So this can be a way of getting basic energy, but it's also a way of finding double turbo energy as well. So really like this card in this deck. 2 copies of Techno Radar. We have no like Ultra Balls or Nest Balls in this deck. Really just Techno Radar. You discard a card and bench 2 Pokemon or 2 future Pokemon from your deck and put them on your bench. And really you don't need that much to bench stuff. Like 2 to 3 Iron Thorns is usually enough to win the game. And then here's Arven, great card in this deck, lets you find an item and a tool card, put them into your hand and shuffle your deck. Arven's going to get you those future booster capsules. It's also going to get you that Turbo Energize, and it can get you items like that Canceling Cologne, Earthen Vessel, Crushing Hammer, Techno Radar, and so on. And then 4 copies of Boss's Orders to gust an opposing bench Pokemon into the active. Again, we're not doing a lot of damage, and oftentimes your opponent can run away with their EXs and retreat to the bench, but Boss's Orders can help you bring those Pokemon back in and knock them out. Then for energy cards, we've got 8 basic lightning energy, 4 double turbo energy, and 1 legacy energy as our A-spec. This is an amazing card in this deck where it provides any type of energy, but it's only 1, which is fine. This can act as your lightning energy. But for Pokemon this is attached to, you drop 1 less prize, and forcing your opponent to take 7 prizes instead of 6 is absolutely massive for this deck, because really they just knock out 3 Iron Thorns and it's done. But if they have to knock out a 4th one, that becomes a very different story. So your general game plan, you need to get at least 1 Iron Thorn setup. Maybe against control decks, you want just 1 Iron Thorns on the board so you don't have to keep moving energy and you don't get trapped. But generally speaking, you want a couple of Iron Thorns at most in play, swinging with that Volt Cyclone, and then doing everything you can to slow your opponent down, whether that is sending their Pokemon to the Lost Zone, knocking energy off of them, disrupting their hand, or yeah, those are kind of the things, right? And just slowing them down as best you can. I think this deck has some interesting matchups. It's really good against some meta decks and really bad against certain other ones. But I will say this deck is a ton of fun to play. It is on the easier side to play. And if you just want like an annoying troll deck that is easy to play, this one is definitely one to consider. All right, let's check out these matches. All right. So full disclosure here, you can see my stuff is moving on the screen. My hands are free. I, like a dummy, did not have my microphone on for the first 5 minutes or so of this match. So I'm just going to dub over this. Right now, we just attach a double turbo and a future booster capsule. I don't feel the need to bench a second Iron Thorns. Yeah, this is kind of wacky. We've got the I feel like I thought we were going to do the Iron Thorns mirror, but we are not. And we both shut off abilities. Okay, so the Squawk ability didn't work. I'm going to ask a question later of why did the Squawk ability work. The Squawk ability didn't work because we canceled each other out. I shut off their abilities. They shut off my abilities. They put down a Miraidon, and Miraidon's not going to work here either. So very nice that we can shut them down here. But they do have an advantage in the sense that they have a very strong attack where the Miraidon is hitting for 220. And the other problem that we could have here is that Miraidon decks a lot of the time run Zapdos, and Zapdos boosts damage by 10, at which point we would just get one-shotted and we would be very sad. So hopefully our ability is enough to slow them down enough that we can... Oh man, they have Generator here. I don't remember exactly how this match plays out, so I'm genuinely kind of surprised as this is going, but Generator here is not ideal, right? So now it's our turn, and I bench the second Iron Thorns so that we can start moving that energy. I do have concerns that if I don't play a second Iron Thorns, I could just get knocked out by Miraidon on the following turn, and then we're boned. Now we have to think about which energy to move. I've already got a double turbo energy in hand, so I'm thinking to move the double turbo to the second one so that unless they hand disrupt us, we can just put the double turbo energy on and then swing. So now they bench a Iron Hands here, and that potentially could be a problem where that could take 3 prizes at some point in the game, right? And that's gonna be a bit of a concern. That also is kind of annoying if they knock out an Iron Thorns with Legacy Energy, because we would drop 1 less prize, but Ampy very much would take 1 more prize, so they would still take 2 prizes, and we'd be in trouble. Now, they decide to move the energy to the Miraidon, which makes a lot of sense. They are a little closer to attacking here, and I choose to dig to see what we can grab off Pokégear. I think I choose to play Research. Oh, no, we could play... They only have 2 cards right now, so there's definitely no reason to play Judge. And instead I play Arven. I still, in retrospect, I agree with that. I can play Research later, and we can get some items here to slow our opponent down potentially. For example, Crushing Hammer, if this hits, and it does not. If Crushing Hammer had hit there, that would have been absolutely amazing. But they only have 2 cards, and we don't know if they're going to have the energy to knock us out on that following turn. So we just move the Lightning Energy. We are still in decent shape. Sure, we could lose the Iron Thorns here, but we do have Research still in hand. We do have an Energy Loto as well. Energy Loto is not going to matter right now because we don't have a third Iron Thorns that we could power up. I guess we could attach energy to the Iron Thorns and then Research. I don't think I did that. I don't think I did that. That wouldn't have been a bad idea, though, because we were going to have to move the energy off anyway. So they're going to swing for 120. They're going to get this KO, but they don't have a lot going on outside of that, right? They're going to have to get a second attacker powered up eventually here. So our Iron Thorns comes up. What I probably should have done here before... Oh, we get an energy. So I played the energy. Play the energy. Oh, I didn't play the energy. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we get a Crushing Hammer, and hopefully we actually hit this time. Yes, we do. All right, awesome. Knock that energy off, hopefully slowing down our opponent a little bit here. And I probably... Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I would have attached the energy, and I realize in retrospect I did that wrong. I mean, we do have the Future Capsule on there, but what I should have done is attach that Lightning Energy to the Iron Thorns in the active, and then moved that Lightning Energy to the one on the bench so that I would still have a fresh attacker ready to go in the active. Now I have to pivot that one out, and now I have to potentially find another thing. They bench Ursaluna for no real reason, and I guess the pivot... Yeah, now I get kind of screwed, right? I get punished for not attaching the energy properly there because now I lose the ability to move, and now I'm really going to have to dig. Ursaluna's probably not going to do anything in this matchup because Iron Thorns just shuts off their ability here. So in that regard, we're probably fine. I see that we're almost at the point where I I realized that my mic is off. I can see I'm... And so I'm going to stop talking here and we'll just go back to the live action. So again, apologies for the technical error, but we'll go back to me. Testing 1 2 3. Oh god. Oh, my mic wasn't working that whole time. That's terrible. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to redo this. Okay. Okay, Lost Vacuum. Lost Vacuum is good. We get to grab... Let's get rid of Boss here and get rid of the baton. And let's go put down a Lost City. And we're going to pray we can find a double turbo energy here. And we don't. Okay. Let's pray the Crushing Hammer hits. Heads, 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 heads. Yes! All right, we slow them down just a little bit. And the turn. At least they're not attacking here. And they lose their baton, so it's going to be a little more difficult for them to charge up the... Okay, Raikou fine. We can just go 7, or we can potentially try and find Arven. And Arven can get us an Energy Loto to potentially dig for that energy, or just go look for 7 cards. I think we just dig for 7. But yeah, really annoying that my audio crapped out there. I didn't realize that OBS had changed my mic settings so that I was not being recorded there. So we may have to... I'll have to go back if we keep this match. Okay, let's see what happens here. Hopefully it's not like generator escape. Okay, they're filling their bench to try and get maximum damage on Raikou. I don't hate that for them. They might even try and retreat here. And just get Raikou in the active to start swinging on the next turn. Nope, they're going to leave right on in the active. That's potentially good. I think we're going to research here. Draw 7. Double turbo. Okay. Energy Loto should get... Oh my goodness. Insane. Absolutely insane. We're going to have to wait. Wow. Terrible luck. Now, if we can... Yeah, they're going to go in with the Raikou here. And rescue board, swing, which is actually not necessarily the worst, right? Because they can't... Raikou's not one-shotting any of these. We can one-shot them right on with Boss. And then... and of course they had to Iono there. Okay, that makes things weird. Oh, no. Okay. That's unfortunate. That's profoundly unfortunate. Okay, they'll swing for 140. And we have to find another way. Okay. Iron Thorns. Let's go and attach this and retreat. And we'll go in with the fresh one. And we'll attach the energy to the Iron Thorns in the active. And let's go and swing. 120, and I think we have to go with the one on the bench for the time being. Now, this could be a massive mistake, potentially, if they can... Uh-oh. Yeah, if they boss up, this is not good. They get it down to 2, and this is looking kind of grim. We will take 2 here with the Raikou, but... if we can't start to power this up, like, we need some hand disruption right now. Thank you. Thank you. And we need to start building up this Iron Thorns here, too. Okay. Why is this glowing? PTCG Live, what are you doing? You're drunk. Okay. Let's go and swing for 2 and move, I guess, the... Let's move the double... we'll move the lightning energy. There's the Legacy Energy. That's good. Now, if we could find a boss, that would be amazing. But I don't know if we will at this point. Maybe we get Iono'd into some fun stuff here. But not looking great at the moment. Okay, they're going to switch in. Do they have the energy to attack? Of course they have the energy to attack. Now, they don't necessarily have... Photon Blaster, they're going to be 10 short. If we... Okay, this is where we get them. This is where we get 1 Crushing Hammer, 2. Yeah, 1 Crushing Hammer. No! Okay. Legacy Energy does wonders here because now they do 1 less. Let's go and grab ourselves a Pokégear. I think we just grab Pokégear to try and find boss later. And we don't seem to have... So we'll hit for 120. And let's go and move the... Oh, no, we can't move the Legacy Energy or we just lose. There we go. So, yeah, they can knock us out. They can knock out this Iron Thorns. That's fine. We lose 1. Okay, they get a Town Store. They grab themselves... What do they grab? Nope, nothing. I don't know if we can retreat here. Because we've burned 2 future booster capsules. And when we looked... Okay. There's a double turbo. Can we find boss? Boss, yes. There it is. So, we're going to go and attach it. Okay, they just scooped. GG. So, yeah. Really unfortunate that my mic crapped out there. Weird matchup. I think they played around the Iron Thorn stuff as best they could, and they were swinging for pretty decent damage. I really feel like they should have put, and I don't know if they had it in their deck, but the Zapdos would have been absolutely crucial there, where they could have done 230 damage in a single hit, and this would have been a more different matchup. Nevertheless, it was still close, right? It came down to the wire, and that Legacy Energy was going to be massive for us by only coughing up 1 prize with the Iron Thorns EX. So, yeah, our ability is able to slow down our opponent enough to take that win. GG's. We mulligan here. 5 mulligans. Holy cow. I mean, that is something this deck is prone to doing, mulliganing a lot. So that is something that we do have to be concerned for, but maybe we're up against something. Roaring Moon. That is horrifying. I don't know if we can do enough to slow them down. Let's see. Like, the Squawkabilly shouldn't work. Okay, they get a second Roaring Moon down, but they still have stuff like Sada's Vitality to get energy on there, and that's going to be annoying. So, yeah, oh my goodness, triple Roaring Moon. Are they just not going to put the... And they get the double Dark Patch? Are you kidding me? Oh, come on, bro. No... Okay, I mean, this is going to come down to... Well, let's see what they even start with here. They have 11 cards, but like... Alright, they throw down a Water Energy. We could be in trouble. Let's see what goes on here. I think we have to Pokégear here. And let's go and Judge. I don't like... I guess we could get Arven. And then we can hold on to... We can get a little bit better setup. Yeah, I think Arven gets us a couple more pieces here. So let's go and we'll go with the Turbo Energize. And let's go and grab ourselves a Techno Radar and another Future Booster Capsule. And I think we get rid of one of the Future Booster Capsules. We go and grab 2 Iron Thorns. And we'll bench those. And let's go actually bump the stadium for Lost City. And we can put one capsule out here. I want to put the second one on the Iron Thorns in the active. So let's go and put 2 energy on to the Iron Thorns in the bench. And let's see how it plays out from here. They have no energy in the discard pile, so no Sada's Vitality shenanigans. And they don't... Roaring Moon generally doesn't run much in the way of hand disruption here. Okay, they keep the card, which is potentially good. Yeah, what are they... Is it... Yeah, and they lost the Greninja early, so that really sucks for them off the Pokestop. And if we can swing into this once, that prevents them from using Frenzied Gouging, where they would then have to knock themselves out in the process. They'll go and put this one in the active, which is good, because that's why we saved this capsule. So we've got ourselves a little bit more time to figure this out. And we can actually go attach this capsule, and we'll go retreat into the Iron Thorns in the active. We're actually going to do even more damage than I was initially planning on doing. We're going to swing for 160. And let's go and move energy to... I think we'll move it to the one that already has energy on it. That way, we only have one card. We can put the double turbo, swing for another 140, then move an energy, and then we get 2 attacks off. So I kind of like where we're at right now. They've got... They must be so cheesed right now. 11 cards, and they don't have a lot going on. Okay, they can Hyper Blower, sure. Go ahead, throw my Iron Thorns that's going to have free retreat, or we just go into the second one. I think we'll give ourselves the free retreat one so they don't, you know, magically knock out. Okay, and they'll Prime Catcher. Sure. It'll go into that one. Fine. I think they're just stalling for time at this point. Yep. Okay. I know their hand is terrible, so I'm not going to... I could hit Judge. I really don't want to. And let's go and move a Basic Energy to the Iron Thorns in... I think we go with that one. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But having that second one ready to go is nice. I really don't want to play Judge right now. I think we just wait like one more turn. Okay, Pokégears. Yeah, they just scoop. GG's. Ugly match. I don't know what was going on their end, but I think the getting rid of the Greninja did kind of suck, but it kind of doesn't matter because Iron Thorns would shut that down anyway. At which point, Roaring Moon, like, they just didn't have a means of powering up there at all, and they couldn't play the Squawkabilly. They shouldn't have been able to play the Squawkabilly, because then, yeah, Iron Thorns should shut that down, and they just kind of bricked into oblivion there, and we were just steadily rolling, so love that for me. GG's. We mulligan, as this deck is prone to do, and we mulligan 2 times, so not necessarily the worst. We do get an Earthen Vessel here, which is nice. I can't remember if we're going first or second. If we are going second, it would be nice to grab an Arven here. Okay, Flutter Mane into... Yeah, this is not a good matchup for us. We don't shut off any of their abilities. They can potentially one-shot us. This is not the match we want. Now, I have won this match before. I've absolutely won this match before. I think Lost Vacuum is a huge card, allowing us to take one-shots on their Pokemon. Yeah, Lost Vacuum, yeah, it takes out those Ancient Charms, and we can just start blasting stuff. And if we can get Roaring Moons into the Lost Zone in particular, we can get things done. But right now, yeah, Flutter Mane is shutting off Iron Thorns here. And I guess it kind of doesn't... Wow, they're just benched all of the Roaring Moons out right now. But they have 2 cards. Like, what 2 cards do they have here? And should I be concerned? Let's go and wrestle. I could... Yeah, let's dig for... Let's dig. That's the card I was looking for. Arven gets us the Techno Radar plus a future booster capsule. So let's go and grab those. And I think we get rid of... What do we get rid of? Iono or Judge? I want to hold on to the research for sure. I think we get rid of Iono in the immediate term. Because I don't want to give them 6 cards to start the game. Actually, you know what? I also have to get rid of a second card. And I think we get rid of Judge here. And we just play for max consistency on our end. So let's go and attach. And I don't need to Pokestop right now. And let's go and Turbo Energize 2 to the Roaring Moon. To a Roaring Moon on the bench. And then we can start cooking. Hopefully they don't have it, right? They've only got 3 cards. I'm hoping there's no Sada's Vitality or Professor's Research or anything. Oh, they have Pokégear. Brick. They're not. Oh, they bricked! They actually bricked! Okay, let's go. Okay, they get an Earthen Vessel. That gets them some energy. And they've got energy in there for Asada's Vitality. So they'll probably power up a Roaring Moon on the bench. I would probably attach to a different... I wouldn't have attached to both, because if I just boss this up, then they're like way behind. But not going to matter right now. Ooh, we can Lost City right now. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I know we're not going to get maximum value out of that because we're not dunking, and we're not dunking a Roaring Moon into the Lost Zone right now. But I'm going to go for 140, and arguably I should have researched there. I want to hold on to the vacuum just in case. Just in case they get an Ancient Capsule right now. And Crushing Hammer is kind of okay. It really depends. They get Asada's Vitality back. If they've only got 2 cards and they just start swinging, yeah. Now, knocking this out is going to be great. So, and yeah, we can start dunking these into the Lost Zone. Fantastic. So, Crushing Hammer, please. No! Okay. That's fine. That's fine. We need to find an energy, though. Oh, okay. We got lots of energy. If we go and actually Energy Loto here, and I'll grab a double turbo where we are doing... Oh, we're still only doing 1-4. If we do... Yeah, we have to use a regular energy here. If we had the future capsule, we could have done it. But that's okay. We can move energy to this Iron Thorns. And yeah, we send that Roaring Moon to the Lost Zone. So that is very nice for us. Our opponent has bricked very hard. They need that one card to be absolute magic, or we're just going to run them over. Okay, they get an energy. And sure, they can swing. But... and we can start powering up this next one. Okay, we get a future capsule. That's fantastic. Because now we can just move this one out. Bring this other Iron Thorns in. And I will attach... Right? Yeah, we'll attach that 4th energy here. And we'll swing for 160. And move energy over to... Hold on. Which is... Okay. Yeah, we can move energy to the fresh Iron Thorns at this point. Send that one to the Lost Zone. Okay, and a Pokégear is nice too. Now, Fluttermane is going to shut off our ability, but it kind of doesn't matter in this matchup. Right now, I am just eyeing up. They're going to counter catcher the... Yep. The one in the active, and they'll attach a fighting energy. Sure. This is actually kind of sick still. Like, we can... Let's go get that Arven. Arven gets us another... Arven gets us another booster capsule, and let's grab a Crushing... do they have anything right now? Yeah, just in case. Actually, what's more dangerous here? I think we'll grab a Vacuum, just in case they get the Charm here. And yeah, we're going to future booster capsule up here. This is pretty much the perfect run for... Oh, wait. I didn't want to switch into the active. Okay, that's... Actually, kind of annoying. I didn't want to do that. If we go and move energy to the... Yeah, we'll attach it to this one, right? This is still doing 140. Yeah, this is an absolute bloodbath here. Absolute bloodbath. To the point where, like, why are we even covering this? They get the Explorer's Guidance. That's a good card for them, but I think this is too late. Right? At this point, they are not going to be able to get enough energy on Roaring Moon in one go. Yep, there's the Ancient Capsule, and that's why we saved the Lost Vacuum. And I don't think we need a Canceling Cologne at this point. I think we can just vacuum that away. And let's go and get rid of this Charm, or Ancient Booster Capsule. We'll go attach another energy to Iron Thorns. They've only got one card. And let's go zap them. For 160, we'll move the energy to the fresh Iron Thorns. And yeah, just dunking all of these Roaring Moons. So they have... This is the only thing that can really attack for the rest of the game. I mean, I guess they could theoretically get a Koraidon out here, but Koraidon's not doing a lot. Okay, they Super Rod in... Not a lot. Did they just throw in energy? Okay, they threw in energy so that Sada can come in. Potentially draw the second energy so they can attack, and they might get a one-hit KO. Might. I don't even think they're going to do that. Like, this is an absolute bloodbath. All right, let's see what happens, though. Let's see what happens. I'm all for it. Just do the thing. So it's 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30. They're not even close. They're not even close. And yeah, we're still swinging for 140 regardless. So I think they're just stalling for time at this point. Yeah, I think we can start the wrap up here. Iron Thorns, this isn't... Again, this is not necessarily the matchup that you want because you're not shutting off rule box Pokemon here. Yeah, they're just praying that... Yeah, they just left it. They didn't even swing. I don't even know why they didn't do that. But yeah, we just swing for 140 and we knock out the Roaring Moon. We can move the double turbo energy, or we'll move the energy to the fresh one. That's fine. But absolute domination, dunking all of their primary attackers into the Lost Zone. Our opponent bricked into Oblivion. That was about as good. This should be a bad matchup for Iron Thorns. But the combination of, yeah, Lost Vacuums, heavy counts of Lost Vacuums to get rid of those Ancient Booster Capsules, which ultimately didn't matter all that much in this matchup because they hardly found them. They kind of overextended early and then just didn't have a lot to go on. And it does kind of suck that we do shut off the Radiant Greninja. So that is a point there where this deck runs Radiant Greninja, and it kind of relies on Radiant Greninja a lot to draw cards, plus get energy in the discard pile for Sada's Vitality, so they kind of lost that option there, which did help. And then between Vacuums getting the Charms out and then running heavy counts of Lost City, we are able to just one-shot Roaring Moons over and over again, send them to the Lost Zone, which just made that game an absolute disaster for our opponent. So we'll just take that. GG's. There we go. That is a look at Iron Thorns EX. I don't necessarily think this is the best deck in the world or anything like that. It feels like a deck that is squarely in the rogue tier deck category, but it does have some really annoying stuff that meta decks are going to have a hard time dealing with. In particular, that initialization ability is amazing, and certain decks just absolutely crumble to it. So if you can kind of avoid the really bad matchups and stick with the good matchups, and there's a lot of decent ones out there because there are so many rule box abilities in the meta right now that you just kind of shut them off. Like Lugia in particular is a deck that basically auto loses to Iron Thorns every time because they cannot function without the Lugia V-Star Starbirth, and you just shut that off all the time. And they're not really playing anything to counter Iron Thorns because Iron Thorns is just not popular enough for Lugia to justify running something like a Canceling Cologne. So in that regard, you kind of just win. But what do you think? Iron Thorns, real deck, fake deck, a fun troll deck? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, I got to get going. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at @InThirdPerson. You can find me on Twitch at @InThirdPerson, where I stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And check out the website, inthirdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.